Hello and welcome to the Tech on Toast podcast. This is season number 10. It's brought to you by OpenTable. OpenTable is a global leader in restaurant tech, helping more than 60,000 restaurants worldwide fill 1.7 billion seats a year. OpenTable's world-class technology empowers restaurants to focus on what matters most: your team, your guests, and your bottom line, while enabling diners to discover and book the perfect restaurant for every occasion. With best-in-class table management software and valuable 24/7, 365 in-person support for restaurants, why not schedule a demo today? Visit opentable.co.uk/restaurant-solutions to get started. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the next episode of the Tech on Toast podcast. And today I'm delighted to be joined by two lovely ladies. We're going to share some good news today, I think, aren't we? Let me get this right. Alana Brailsford and Eve Williamson from Served app or Serve? What are we saying? Served. From Served. Anyway, nice to meet you, ladies. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Don't worry about talking over each other. It's fine.
Really good, thank you.
Where you two guys? Are you based down here?
I'm based in Oxford.
Yeah, I'm in London, but then aim is we'll get back together again in London again soon.
But the reality is that you're not going to be here for long, right?
No.
Aren't you moving somewhere?
Yeah, we'll be moving on Saturday to the US.
She says that casually. Any reason why?
Yeah, so we got into Techstars, their Future of Food program in Minneapolis in partnership with Ecolabs. Found out a couple of weeks ago. 24 hours.
Well, last week, actually.
Yeah, last week.
We've had a week to just turn our whole lives around and
it's insane.
move.
Up sticks, go away.
And for anyone who doesn't understand what this is all going on here, so a lot of our listeners are from the tech world, 20% in America, so you might have some Minneapolis fans already listening to you. Tell us a little bit about because you didn't actually go through the program, right?
No, so the way that we kind of got in was a bit weird. We made a profile a couple of months ago, but we missed all the deadlines for the accelerators.
Typical students.
It kind of was like we were told about it as an option kind of after the deadlines all shut, and we looked into it and we're like, oh, this would be great, but it's too late for us, maybe next year or something. Made a profile, just had a look at what was out there. And then I think 3 weeks ago, somebody from one of the US teams, they reached out for a chat. We had 4 interviews. We were referred to the Future of Food Tech Accelerator program. And then, last Thursday, they would kind of told us at the end of the final interview and said, we'll give you 24 hours, but we want you to have our last spot and, move to the US in 2 weeks.
I would love to see your faces. Were you on the call together?
Oh, my God, yeah.
No, we were on the call together, but we'd been with each other that morning. No, and then we were in Oxford, and then I left, drove back, joined the meeting, and then they said it on the call. We both... sorry, repeat that?
Yeah,
what?
Did you do really cool faces yeah, that's fine, okay, we'll be there, no problem.
Yeah, well, I don't think we kept our cool that well because we asked all of our questions that we pre-prepared, and then she said, okay, well, we want to give you the spot. Do you have any more questions? I think my jaw just dropped and we just weren't expecting it. The acceptance rate was so low. It wasn't in our plan. It was just this amazing opportunity that's come up.
Do you get a per diem, or do you get it's an American phrase, per diem, but do they look after you in terms of how do you survive out there? Are they going to pay you money to eat?
Yeah, so they give us a stipend to live on,
right.
So you can just fully focus on.
They're going to lock you in a room, aren't they?
Yeah, work as hard.
We're actually so excited. They give us access to their office. They want us in every day. So we're so excited to be able to go somewhere, be with other people like us as well. Oh, it's
like us,
great.
Such more lunatics.
Yeah,
the asylum. It's such a great experience. Before we get to the actual product, we talked to a lot of founders. In fact, today we had the founder of. Oh my God, Chris, come on! I had the founder of Pinpoint, who are an ATS system, right? He came on today. Lives in Jersey. Global product. He's built at 20. He built a really very similar journey to you guys. Built his first bit of kit at 20. Car crashed. Built another one. Had some success. Sold it. Built another one. Now he's on his third or fourth. And I think it's just super exciting to meet people at this stage, because normally we get to meet you after you've been successful and you've gone global or whatever it might be. So it's so cool to meet you guys. Well, no, I don't see why not. And the first time me and Sarah met you on a video call, I was just like, yeah, they're cool. And, your product only has to be 50% cool. You'll be fine. But no, really excited. So tell me about Served and what it does, and then we can get into that.
So right now we're really focusing on the restaurant side of what Served is doing. We're aiming to be like a comprehensive support system for them to better cater for people with allergies and dietary restrictions. So this kind of all came from my own struggles growing up with severe allergies. Alana and I, we met at uni 5 years ago now, I think.
What were you studying?
We did design engineering at Imperial College London.
You did.
We met there. We've lived together since second year, and like a big thing we bonded over was like food, going out, trying new restaurants. But with that, over the years, Alana's been there when like a fun meal out with friends, celebrating something, has turned into kind of overnight hospital trips repeatedly. And we just really thought like something better here needs to be done. It was all often down to a lot of miscommunication. And we just thought this is very preventable and we wanted to do something about it. So it was kind of born in our final year of uni. And yeah, we've gone from there really.
It's amazing. And what can I ask? What allergens? What you suffer with?
Yeah, so severe peanut allergy. So that's like anaphylactic, so life-threatening, and then more mild sort of. Well, it's difficult with allergies because they're quite unpredictable, but. Yeah, it's not really life-threatening with nuts.
Am I right in saying you can eat one thing once and not really get a reaction, then the next time have quite a severe reaction potentially?
Yeah, it's honestly really difficult to tell what's going to happen. I think what happened is I grew out of my severe tree nut allergy, and now I get some kind of mild to moderate symptoms, but the peanut allergy has kind of stuck with me and gotten worse over the years, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just that people don't know enough about allergies, which is why I think there's this massive stigma around it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I told you guys when we first met, I was working at Carluccio's and we were one of the first restaurant brands to do gluten-free menus, right? And it was very manual, right? We're talking, I'm old. Be quiet. I don't really want to tell people how old you are. But I was, so this is about 12 years ago. You're doing my head in without even talking. 12 years ago. And we were doing a very manual process, right? So the red flag was the minute someone said the word celiac, gluten, anything like that, we would go and get a manager. The manager would be the last line of defense, and then we'd go in the kitchen. We'd have literally like a breakout kit for gluten-free prep. But it's all humans, right? And the problem is they make mistakes. And I think, and we had one particular episode, I remember, where the ops director brought all the general managers back to London and read a letter from a 7-year-old girl to us in a room, and it was horrific, right? And we made her really sick from a breadcrumb. Yeah, and it just shows the I suppose the breadth of how dangerous this can be. And you're right. I don't think it's been. I know it's funny. So a lot of products are trying to look after allergens, or menu products that look after allergens, but you kind of want the people, the experts, right, who want to focus on it, and that's what you guys are doing, right? Yeah,
exactly. It's completely right. I think that from my personal experiences of it, there's such a massive range in the industry of how you're met with it. Yeah. For example, I've had horrible experiences of people saying, "Oh, I don't really believe you," and I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" Well, yeah, I didn't choose this, and they've kind of just said, "Oh, but like it's not poison, like it won't really kill you. You can have a small amount," and I'm like, "No, like." And it was really shocking the amount of times that scenarios like that have come up, or where I've come in somewhere or they've been the complete opposite and they've said, "We won't serve you anything." And it's like, those are the sort of problems that we're looking to solve. Yeah. We don't want people to go in and feel uncomfortable and have to sign waivers, search for hours for a restaurant and then be refused service.
So and how does the product work then? Does it do that? Does it help you search for a restaurant? How does it actually work?
Yeah.
So right now we're just creating digital allergen menus, trying to get as many restaurants on board, building our traction. And then once we have enough restaurants on board, we do want to have plans to build a user side in which users can create profiles and find restaurants like that match their allergies. And
so I can say, I'm Chris, these are my allergies, and these are the restaurants that match me.
Yeah.
Tinder for, did we say this on the call? Tinder for allergens. That's not a good. Do not use that as your that should not be your marketing plan.
We won't, don't worry.
If I see that though, I'm claiming it. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, but the aim is just to drive the right people to the right restaurants and make that even finding restaurants like a much smoother process. Right now, if we want to go to a new place, we'll normally spend 2 to 3 hours looking for restaurants, calling them up, checking. Whereas like it's a lot easier for us. We know there's like 3 restaurants. We know we'll always have a good experience in, and still great food, but we don't really get to try too much because of just the amount of effort.
Yeah, why shouldn't you? Right?
Yeah.
And how do you? And when do you trust being someone with allergens, do you trust what you read on Google? As in, like, if someone, you know, if it says we are allergen, I mean, I don't know how the wording would be, allergen friendly, or we take care of. Because if I had your allergies or a serious one, I'm not sure. I think I'd have to phone them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because your parents, they brought you up, right? They must have had the same fear. Because I'm a dad, that must have been horrific. I would have been in fact, you probably wouldn't have eaten out if I was your dad. You would have stayed in all your life.
I mean, we found from like our research as well, because I didn't want to have like confirmation bias of like my own personal experiences. I wanted to see what other people had. And we put out a survey and we found that 95% of people really struggled to find a safe venue to eat in. And then 33% of people who are still going out are reporting allergic reactions in restaurants. That number's likely higher because it's only the reported ones. And we just found that this problem is happening everywhere. Restaurants seem to be also missing out on this customer base that's very loyal. Once they have a great experience somewhere, they come back, they bring their friends and family, they kind of shout and say, I had a great experience here. And instead of shying away from serving these customers, we want you to actually go full steam ahead and be like, look, this is our allergen information. We're as transparent as possible about it so the customer can make the informed decision about their unique allergies and kind of let that customer have that information and make that choice.
And hospitality is huge, right? The vastness of this business. I always think I know every brand and every restaurant. You've already mentioned two since we sat down that I didn't know of. And I think it's such a huge problem.
Yeah.
With that huge opportunity, there's a huge problem alongside it, right? Do you have separate roles, and what do you look after? Will you look after different parts of the business?
Well, at the minute we kind of do absolutely we do absolutely everything together. If we're not actually physically together, we're on call all day for hours.
This is unhealthy, girls.
If they charge for FaceTimes, like the bill would be massive.
We would be in serious trouble.
But so you can both build product then, or you both?
Yeah, both technical. We're morphing. Both technical. I think we're also hopefully figuring out like our roles. And I think from there we'll see as we kind of expand our team and grow what our roles will evolve into.
Because again, this guy, Tom, who came on this morning, Tom Hackwill from Pinpoint, talked about the fact that as a founder, he didn't know what his strength was until about 6 years in. Sorry to say, girls. Because he said, as a founder, you feel like you can do what you're doing everything, right?
Yeah.
And you will do for a while.
Yeah.
So until you're live and out there, and fully launched. And he said it took him a real long time to understand what his skill set was and what he was great at. And now he gets it. Yeah. But he said I've burned so many people and so much money learning that point. He said, so if you can know really early on what you're going to do, so you should talk to Tom. Good advice.
Brilliant. Give him a contact.
But I think we're really lucky with the degree we did. They almost taught us almost all sections of how to we describe it as almost like a startup churner. They just want you to be skilled in all the areas that would enable you to build a startup. And they were introducing
you, right? Didn't you say they connected you to your first customer, the university?
Oh, so we
did an event with them.
We ran an event at Mestizo, which is how we got connected with Carlos, the owner. Found out his brother had severe allergies, and he was really passionate about the cause and kind of took a risk with us, but he came on as our first pilot, so piloting our first filterable online allergen menu, and has just been really supportive of us, which is lovely.
Less risky than doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly, you know what I mean? Exactly.
I find it fascinating because I actually think you're going to be quite an emotive product.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're huge, that'll change slightly probably, but in the early days, people are going to be very passionately connected to you because you're affecting someone's life in a positive way, hopefully. So you're helping someone actually go out for dinner. So that's why we started the gluten-free menus back in the day, because we were like, why should this big section of the community not be able to go out for dinner?
Yeah.
Or not be able to go near an Italian restaurant, especially because it was breadcrumbs and and focaccia and all this kind of stuff. So that was our founder's mission to do that, and whilst hugely risky.
Yeah.
Really beneficial, right, to those people that want to eat out, and you know that as an allergen sufferer, that actually being told you can only go to 3 restaurants because you trust them.
Yeah. But also massively beneficial to the restaurants, the businesses themselves. I think statistics out there show a 24% profit margin increase if you're being accessible to people with dietary restrictions such as allergies and intolerances, which is massive in the restaurant industry that's been recovering kind of since COVID, finding different ways to like differentiate themselves and open up their customer base. And not only is it, we think like selfishly our mission to walk in anywhere we want and know what I can and can't eat and enjoy that experience together, but also from a business perspective, it's massively important.
And also, there was a time where there was, I don't know, 7 or 8 menus or something when you walked in a restaurant. It was like it was just getting like, paper menus. Here's one's for you, your allergy, one for you, your allergy. And it's just crap because the minute you walk in, your experience is crap, right?
Oh my God.
You feel like you're some kind of alien, and everyone else is just getting one single menu. You're the weirdo with like the 7 menus.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on the paper matrices that are this big, and they have like every menu, including the 2016 Christmas menu. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I looking at? Like, I can't find what I
dusty
want.
Shelf.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's scribbles on it, and I'm like, it's overwhelming. It's like not easily digestible, the information. And yeah, like you said, it just singles you out, especially for young people where we see the highest risk for severe allergic reactions. It really singles you out.
Is it more common in?
Yeah, so it's the most at risk is young people. I think massively because of the stigma around it. They are less likely to be carrying their EpiPens.
Yeah.
And they're less likely to speak up for themselves about their allergy because they don't want to be singled out either with their friends or out with different people. And yeah, having that massive binder and looking through it when it can just cause a lot of embarrassment for people. And that's one of the other parts that we're trying to focus on is breaking down that stigma and encouraging them to see, look, they've got an allergen menu. They're open to you as a customer. They're open to showing you the information. You should be able to speak up about your allergy and not feel embarrassed by it.
And it's interesting. I think there's we work with a bunch of operators like the big guys, right? So some of the big, what they call enterprise guys, I suppose, in terms of Pete's Pilgrims, those kind of people, right? And they've got 20, 30 sites. What I find is, and obviously these guys have strong practices in place, but where I find the real gap is down the SME, so the smaller guys, the single sites, the takeaways, the people that can pop up from street food into a bricks and mortar site quite quickly. And I'm not dissing them. I'm just saying that there's an opportunity to be less safe in those businesses because maybe unless they've got an owner or founder who's physically or emotionally invested in this subject, I think it's really dangerous. So and in terms of physical products, so you're out live, it's happening, and you've got, what was it, 2 sites live?
Yeah, 2 sites live, 1 more about to be live, and we just actually today potentially waitlisted 8 more, so that's great.
If you can't see, or you can see them on camera, but these 2 are just beaming from ear to ear at the moment. I'm going to capture this moment for when you're having a bad day.
You caught us on a good day. You caught us on a good day.
Well, not everyone's got a free trip to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So, but sorry, you were saying, so you got three on the books. Well, 3 to go live,
and then kind of talking to some larger chains, making some demos. So kind of just right now, it's a very exciting time where hopefully should be lots more updates upcoming in the next month or so.
And what happens then after Minneapolis, if I can say that properly?
So
or don't you know?
We don't even know where we're going to be living. Like, who knows? No, I think that it's going to be a massive opportunity for us to network in the industry.
Yeah.
Because coming straight out of uni, we don't have
it's obvious, right?
We don't have years of experience in the sector. We have lots of years eating good food, but
literally
we can eat with the best.
Yeah, so literally on our decks, you've seen loads of other people's decks. They're like, oh yeah, 23 or 48 years experience in XYZ, and we're like, oh, 48 years experience in being foodies.
That's what we've got to offer. But we've found that this sector, it's all about building up relationships, building up trust with those restaurants.
100%.
And we found that that's obviously been challenging, but also once people get to know us and actually kind of get on board with us growing, that's been kind of really amazing experience to... They see us from the very beginning. They see how we're evolving and we're developing those relationships.
This is an experienced business that you're in an industry that you're entering into, and it's and I have spent X amount of years in it, and I can tell you all of my best business deals or whatever I've done, it's all been about relationships. And it's all about that. And actually, and you said we haven't done much. The fact that you're about to do what you are doing is huge, right? And not many people get that opportunity, so you should be super proud of yourselves because that is amazing. And I was saying before that Tech on Toast, we've been itching to find someone at the start of their product journey who we can kind of latch on to and follow around a bit. Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, that shouldn't be me. That'd be weird. But we'll put Liv on that. But we want to create content around that and really kind of understand your journey. And you guys were saying you got to record everything when you're in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I can't say that. Can we just shorten that? Mini?
The US.
Yeah, the US. In the US. But yeah, record that journey and record every moment because I think the best brands and the best product, obviously product needs to be good, right? But tech is at a level now where you'll get, the idea is everything, the tech will follow. But I think the story behind it and the reason you're doing it and your reason to be it, particularly in this subject, I think is very, very important. I think it's what people will connect with when you go to market.
And I think
say properly, it's not the right word.
And I think also just the position we're in, like we're young people and we've got friends around us who've also done amazing things and they inspire us, and anything we can do that if we succeed, be able to inspire others, especially women in this situation where the amount of times you've been turned down or get funny looks, you're like, oh, and then the fact that now we finally almost got this big break, and us as like female founders, we feel like we're so excited.
I think it's
people
incredible.
Believe in us, and we can try and spread that to
I
others.
was saying before you arrived, I was chatting, we had a lady called Addie on the podcast a few weeks ago who runs a company called Growwise with her sister, Kat, and they're two female founders like you guys, sisters though, so even more of a dynamic there.
People often ask us if we're sisters.
You're not?
No,
you're obviously not, you just gave me a name.
No.
But she was quoting, I think, the same stat you quoted me about how much investment females will get from.
1% from VC funding goes to female founders.
You've already ticked that box. But I just think it's absolutely crucial that you do well. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years? I know it's really hard because you're literally at the start. But what would you like to happen?
Well, the kind of aim is we want to start with allergies. It's growing massively. It's getting to kind of epidemic proportions all over the world.
Is that a thing? So is it becoming? Is it more awareness, or is it always? So is allergens becoming more of an issue, or is it like the environment we live in, or is it becoming just more awareness around it?
I'd say so. The prevalence that we're seeing in like younger generations that are developing allergies is becoming much higher.
Right.
The increase in hospital admissions for food-related anaphylaxis, I think, is over 200% increase in the past
years.
Yeah. So it is growing. It's not going anywhere. You can't ignore it. So that's where we're really starting. Also because it is life-threatening. This is like life or death we're talking about. It's not just like it's not only about the experience. We also want to keep people safe as well over something that could be completely unavoidable if they had the right information and they were telling the people the right information. But beyond that, we also do understand that there are other kind of dietary restrictions out there. There are intolerances that can also be very debilitating and very kind of isolating for people. Food is something so social that we enjoy, and there are countless times where people like myself and also people I know with allergies or intolerances, they'll either stop going out or they'll kind of join, but they'll sit there with no food because the place won't serve them or they don't trust it, and it's just so isolating. So we want to expand beyond just allergies also to intolerances, dietary preferences.
But it makes sense, right, that you would go in that direction, because I think you're going to find the minute you start solving one problem, you're going to go and want to solve another.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that might be in your genes. So I think that's something you'll move into.
Yeah.
But it is hugely, hugely serious. And I think I was in Natasha's Law, and obviously everything that's come in over the last few years from cases with the big guys, right? These aren't independents, it's Pret a Manger and other various major chains. And I think that's where the worrying thing is. And I think as a parent, looking at kids eating out, if I had a kid with an allergy like you, I would genuinely be, I don't know, I'm not sure how I'd react, but I think I'd be very wary of them eating out without me understanding entirely where they were going, what they were doing, which is rubbish, right?
Yeah,
Imagine
exactly.
being a kid who gets managed like that.
I think it's
My daughter probably thinks that anyway. I've got a track.
We'll ask her. Well, yeah, I think that's also part of the problem, because for parents it is so worrying. It's it's so important to you that they're safe. And when they kind of move out and go to uni and have to deal with this on their own, that's when they are most at risk, because normally their parents have kind of guided them through this and safeguarded them.
And I guess you're invincible, right? That's what you think. No, it's true, isn't it? Once you go to uni, you're like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it is that. And you said that actually that potentially, because of the stigma around it, because of the isolation around it, you might not carry what you need to carry, or you might not admit fully what, so it is really interesting, that slope you could slide down quite quickly.
But so since we did this project, we've been speaking to friends who have severe allergies, and we've kind of drilled into them, you need to carry your EpiPens, and they're like, oh no, it's fine. And then we're like, no, you need to, you're most at risk because you aren't. And these are kind of all the things that we want to kind of focus on.
They've since been carrying their EpiPen every day. Since we kind of gave them a talking
They're all going to listen to you two now. Oh, you're in the US. Well, look, it's super interesting. You've got a site live, haven't you? You've got your website up, or have you got...
Yeah. We've got our website up.
What is it?
served-app.com.
Yeah, served-app.com.
Yeah, they're going to build a new one in the US.
But we're also... we've got our Instagram, our TikTok as well.
See, look at the age of me asking about your website, and then you come back at me with the TikTok. And if people want to come and work with you, though, are they joining a waitlist? What's the score? Can they come and switch on straight away, or what's the plan?
We've got a wait list for users and restaurants kind of live right now. Mm-hmm. We've not been great at posting on our social media, just because we've kind of been buried under all other types of work, but that's something we really want to kind of get into, and just we've got kind of an influx of really positive messages on social media and building our following.
Well, I think once you tell this story, right, I think that you'll get lots more, and I think not influencers, but you will be influencers in that space, right? So you will be influencers around allergens, and you'll be able to have that opportunity. It doesn't have to be you two, but you can, your brand will have that. You'll have that permission, right?
Yeah.
You'll give them permission to go and talk about this subject. So whilst it's really a huge responsibility, it's such a huge opportunity as well.
This can't just be really clinical or kind of make it seem really intense. It needs to be quite fun, exciting branding. So we want to appeal to kind of a wide audience. We want young people to look at it and be like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, it's about allergies. That means I don't need to feel weird talking about my allergies. And,
exactly that.
And that stems into then when it comes to the menus that we've got in our restaurants. We want kind of people, when they go in and they have an allergy, if they see the restaurant's taking every step they can to accommodate for them, they're going to feel more comfortable being transparent and saying, oh, I've got this allergy, and they're going to understand what I mean, rather than trying to explain how their food needs to be processed or needs to be treated, and then having some kind of miscommunication that can lead to an issue.
That educational part's huge, right? From where we are, not everywhere, but where we are in a lot of places right now, you have the human standing in front of you, and as you know, the churn rate in hospitality is huge, so they're turning over employees
massively.
120% or something like turnover. So you're generally speaking to a waiter today, you probably might not see next week even, or next month. So that's worrying, right? And as a person who used to run lots of restaurants, keeping that training, that's why digital allergens have to go and stop it. I know you're morphing, but don't drink a drink. But that's why it has to be digital, right? It cannot be managed in a manual way, because it's not safe enough. And you mentioned it before actually about being female founders. How have you been received? Because obviously you're door knocking a bit, aren't you? Going around selling in your product.
I mean, the amount of times we've been told in meetings, oh, by the way, only 1% of funding goes to female
people
founders.
Quote that to you.
Yeah, the amount of times that's come up, and we've been
everyone needs to hear of these lovely people. Yeah.
And we're like, oh yeah, we know, we've heard it.
Well, that's like a red rug to the bull to me.
It's tough, but I think we've had a really positive reception from all of the restaurants we've actually met.
And let's hope things are changing right anyway, that actually should be celebrated, not, it'd be so much better having more women in tech. But it's a very male-dominated space at the moment. Yeah,
massively. And it's also financially beneficial to invest in female-led companies.
Why is that?
Women are less likely to overestimate their abilities. Often they underestimate, so they underestimate and they over-deliver, which is can be the opposite case for.
I saw that somewhere literally yesterday. I was reading it yesterday somewhere. That actually men are much more. I mean, I might have been on it. I might be watching TikTok. No, generally, I think.
Source.
Yeah, no, but I think great source of true news, not fake news. But no, it was true. It was men are much more bullish in the fact that I'm going to do it. I'm going to achieve it.
Yeah.
I'll do 50% more than that. Whereas women are a lot more. I'll do 50% less than actually end up overreaching.
Yeah.
And
it's something that stuck with us. We did the female founder accelerator with Accelerate Her. And at one of the talks they were talking about this, and we were like kind of just taken aback by it, because I think it was the first time we were in an environment where they weren't telling us, oh, it's so hard to get funding because you're female founders.
It's the first thing I said to you.
Yeah, it's like it's a financial imperative for investors to invest in you because of X, Y, and Z. And we were kind of blown away, like, yeah, that's true.
I also think language matters, right? And I think the way that we speak about things and people is really important, and even more so now with the world we live in. And I think that the fact that we have to talk about female founders or you know, or the 1% or whatever is sucks really. But actually, while we have the opportunity, we shout about success and actually and go and chase it, and that's what you two are about to go and do. It's mental. They pay for your flights and everything, right? You don't just
thankfully.
You go business class, obviously.
No, not yet.
And what's their office like? So you're going to be in the office with all these. Who are they? Are they other people like you, or is it the actual people that work in?
No, so I think there are other people that work in the company, and then there's I think 10 to 12 other companies from the world, and we're all going to be there. Apparently, we all get our own desks with monitors. Sounds exciting.
Alana's really excited about the monitors.
Yeah, I love monitors. I normally have just love all the screens. I'm kind of worried moving out there. I've got my Mac Mini
at home, and I have my second monitor. I love it.
Yeah.
Trouble is, I lose my mouse a lot.
Too many monitors.
It's my age. I'm just they go, where the hell's the mouse gone? But
Oh, not on the screen. I lose mine on the screen.
Yeah, on the screen.
Yeah.
Especially in the morning, I'm like, where are you? Anyway, that's an age thing.
But yeah, everyone we're going to be around. So there's no one directly competing with us on the program, but everyone's in the food space, so you can be working parallel with other companies in similar positions, and it'd be so great just
connect me to them all. I think this part of the tech world I'm really excited about, because it's where the new stuff starts. And I think it's really exciting, and it's where Peckish and Blend are, who you got. And weirdly, the guys I was talking about Peckish, so Blend also came from the same incubator. It's called Antler, I think. That's where they came from. I've just remembered when you were talking before. So, and I got on the tube this morning, and Jonah, who's the co-founder of Blend, was standing there and just said hello to him this morning. Was chatting to him on the tube, which is really random since I don't live here. And but he was saying how well they're just raised again, and they're going through. But they're basically TikTok learning, so they're doing L&D, but via TikTok. But cool guy, really really cool people. Female founder within his team, but they were put together. I suppose is that almost like a boy band, or kind of like selected.
A lot of the programs they help you find your co-founder.
Really? I wish they found.
We've already got ours, so
no, that's really cool. And how is it then? Because just relationship-wise, obviously you're mates. How long have you been friends for? What?
Like 5
years.
You didn't know each other before uni?
No. Everyone thought though, and literally the first week of uni, they're like, "Oh, you guys, you must have known each other for years." And we're like, "No, we met yesterday."
Yeah.
But we just, we've worked a lot together. So we've lived together like pretty much the whole time. We've worked a lot together on like different projects. We actually decided
a lot of all-nighters.
Yeah, so many like all weekends.
It's about working, right? Okay.
But I think we also actually decided, almost without meaning to, for the first 3 years. So every year in our course, there's a massive module that lasts 6 months, and you pretty much invent something and like completely.
This is so cool.
Build
What's this course?
Design engineering. It's honestly, we couldn't have done anything better. It was amazing. But we actually decided, because every time you do this big module, you have to pick a team, and we're like kind of quite similar in like a lot of our strengths, but also have different strengths in different areas. And I think we always decided not to be together for the first, because we were like, we're going to save it for the final year, the big one.
Is this what you did in the final year then?
Yeah. This is like where the idea of Serve like stemmed from. So we started like the research phase and everything on a module called Enterprise Rollout, where you're basically graded on how well you can build a company and build real traction, which is amazing. And yeah, like absolutely very thankful to. And
has anyone else had success from that?
We've had there's a few
other companies that have gone into accelerators as well. So it's the course is still quite young, but hopefully more and more will be coming out of it. Got a shout out to Pellen. She leads the enterprise
cool.
rollout course, and she's
Helen
brilliant.
sounds like a legend.
She is.
she's-
I want to go on the course, and I'm old. No, I love that though, because that real life exposure, in terms of, or not real life, but in terms of you can see your acorn growing, right? But doing it in a safe environment as well. It's pretty cool, right? Because it might undo some of the lessons you might end up facing the next year or so.
Yeah.
That you know not to go there, or you know to go there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
And do you get on all the time?
Yeah, I think it's
weird. You two are weird.
We've rarely. I don't think we've ever had like a big argument.
Like, we obviously-
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but then like we talk about this where obviously everyone's gonna disagree on things, but every time we ever have, we sit down, we talk it through. And
Yeah,
we've never-
I've got a friend just like that where
Yeah.
we've never fallen out. We just know when to not cross the line, kind of thing.
Exactly. I think we know each other. We've lived with each other so long, like we know each other so well. But also, I think we're both quite good at going from like friend mode to work mode, and like sometimes they do mix, and it's great when they do. But also, some like we know that when we need to get our heads down and like not gossip or not speak about things or like and just really get into work, like we can absolutely switch into that mode, which I think is a bit of like a superpower of ours that we have. But then obviously making sure that it's not all work and you still are like enjoying your
Good luck with
lives.
that.
Like, we know,
The next
I think-
5 years, forget that.
I think we read each other very well and like know each other's needs and know if we need to just pause and
But-
have a laugh kind of things. We like one of the best things about our relationship is like the amount we laugh together, and I think that's kind of, if we just pause from work, we can just sit back and just
Yeah,
or
but
just chill
is
out.
work
and do-
fun though? As in, like,
Yeah.
I know when I say fun, it's
no.
not like you're giggling all day.
No,
but
love
you
it.
guys, it comes across
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
really care about what you're doing, but
Absolutely.
also enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's
I
so-
wouldn't want to be doing anything else. Like, one, the amount that we're learning is incredible. Like, every day there's a new challenge, something new to learn, a new skill or whatever it is. But also, it's so imperative in a startup that you are passionate about the mission
100%.
and like having it actually affect our lives, and it's a problem that we've lived and seen and been like, no, we want to use our skills to solve this. It is kind of like a no-brainer for us to, when things get hard and when you get those kind of rejections or a meeting doesn't go well and you're just really down, like the highs and lows are crazy, but when it's low, it's like you fall back on that to kind of keep you going.
At the highs and lows, it's probably the one single thing that runs, forget tech, but across any business you will ever own. Having validation of your product is the best feeling on earth. So someone buying a ticket for an event or buying or paying SaaS for your product, or buying your chocolate bar, whatever you made, having that first sale is just like, oh, my swap, she just bought what we did.
Yeah.
They actually think it's good.
Yeah.
2 days, like 2 days before we got the call, we were together and we started the conversation of being like, at what point are we still doing this, or what point is this not really going to go on anymore? We were both getting traction, but it was just kind of building and
I think it was a big like kind of, I feel like you're in a bubble like with your other founder and you have like for periods of time you don't have any external validation to be like we're doing well, even if we are like it's really hard to take a step back and get perspective,
and obviously you're super critical of yourselves.
Exactly, and we kind of reached a point, I think 2 nights before, when we were like, okay, when do we need to say that we should stop this, because obviously we've come out of uni, we're bootstrapping, no salary, had to move home with our parents. And we were like...
Sounds like a right laugh.
And we were like, okay, we need a plan in place in case, like, we can't keep going. And those kind of doubts do creep in. And we were telling ourselves, like, no, like, we're getting the traction, we're going there. But it was that wobble. And then 2 days later, it's like everything's turned on its head. And it's just...
If I'm being really transparent with you, I have those feelings and have had them every 3 months probably. I get one day where you'll meet a competitor and everyone says, oh, I embrace competitors. I best to stay friends with them. But you meet them and they leave you like, oh God.
Yeah.
Am I going to? But I think the fact is you've got to keep going. And I think I love the fact there's 2 of you because I think sometimes when you're on your own, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like I am on my own, but I have an investor who's like my mate. And, he just turns up for P&Ls and for advice. So he just wants to know where's the cash and are you okay? Because I'm invested in you.
Yeah.
But having each other is going to be really important, I suppose, over the next few years. Look, I wasn't joking. We're going to follow you around everywhere. So we're not releasing this till later on in the month because obviously your news is yet to be not verified, but you can't tell.
announced,
Yeah. It's super exciting. Are all your family excited for you?
Yeah, I think
Trepidation?
yeah, I think it was a combination between like obviously they're really proud and excited, but also a bit like, okay, finally get them out of the house sort of thing.
They were just like in shock. I remember just my mom was in a meeting downstairs and I came down. It's like, Mum, I'm moving to America like
On
in 2
Tuesday.
weeks. Yeah, and she was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
So it's just funny. I think we're all just still processing. Like I've been saying, I was asking today, how are you feeling about it? And I was like, I can't lie, I haven't processed I'm going to be in Minneapolis on Saturday. I haven't started packing yet. It's not a reality yet.
Just ride the
So,
wave. I
yeah.
think you're going to absolutely love it. And what an experience. No matter what happens, I think you just said then, you're learning every day.
Yeah.
I think just embrace all this stuff. What would you do if you, just out of interest, what would you do if you weren't doing Served? Because you're tutoring. What are you tutoring
You've
in?
always said...
I'd probably always be I want to be a chef. Like I love
Really?
cooking. I literally did an engineering degree, and I love cars.
You guys,
you
like good marketers or something.
Yeah.
No, I do like cars and like F1. So that's like
Slightly more out of reach, but
and then,
go for the chef.
But then also like I love cooking and
What's your go-to dish?
Very good. We have a shared go-to dish.
yeah, so it's we make like crispy rice with teriyaki salmon, but then like all the kind of trimmings, so having like a tahini mango salsa
not
and
the
like
good
a
time to
whipped
ask you this question
avo.
and
It's
start
just
with.
all of it. It's a really good sharing food. You have it all in the middle, and if you ever have a dinner party, just have it all in the middle, and just everyone's taking.
I've got
Everyone's
so
enjoying
many
it.
ideas for your company. I'm just listening. You could do so much stuff around food and stuff.
Yeah.
like
And
that.
we have actually filmed some cooking videos, like allergy-free cooking videos
Yeah,
that we
because
haven't yet
the one
released.
thing
Well,
I
you were
think
talking about
it
your
was-
TikTok channel. I'm just saying.
I think it was Alana's always wanted me to try like pad thai and like bang bang noodles, but I've just never been able to because it's peanuts.
Yeah.
And we went to the Allergy and Free From show in London a couple of months ago, and we came across this like sunflower butter.
This is literally unpaid marketing for them. But
This is the
This
bag
is
she
their-
got.
Sunfly.
And,
We'll mention them in the copy.
Yeah, and she tried it and she was like, oh my God, if you didn't tell me that wasn't peanut butter, I would think it was. So she's been cooking me different recipes for me to try that taste like they have peanuts in, but they don't, which is terrifying, but also really exciting. So yeah, she's a brilliant chef. We love cooking together.
What would you do then?
God, I have no idea. Honestly,
Nothing. I'm doing Served.
yeah, exactly. That's the only way.
I'm not even
think
going to
I've-
entertain that thought.
Yeah, I think I always knew that I didn't want to work for anyone else. And I think like doing something like working on like the change that I want to put into the world, like
Yeah,
that's
it's very
what I
cool.
want to do.
I think it's a passion project, right? Which will pay you as well, which is the ultimate goal for
Yeah.
everybody, right? To do something you love but get paid for it,
Yeah.
and you can do some cooking
and
too.
also you get fed with it too. Like, in, like,
Oh my God,
the amount
lunch
of
meeting,
food,
dinner meeting.
the best.
Sounds horrific. Your life's so bad. Well, look, and if people want to get hold of you, they're going to see you anyway because we're going to do some content with you as you go.
Yeah.
But if people want to get hold of you, can they reach out on LinkedIn, or what's the best place to find you guys? I'm going.
Yeah, I mean LinkedIn, Instagram. Is it serve.app?
Yeah.
It's on
And
TikTok.
I want
as
to
well.
encourage all of our partners who listen, and they do, hopefully, to reach out to you guys, especially people in your space you're going to be in.
Yeah.
So the packages, I can't think there's loads now. Epic Base, Deliveract, all these
Yeah.
different guys. Come and chat to these guys. They're starting their journey, but I think it'd be
Yeah.
great for you guys just to lend a hand and also some advice, right? Because
Yeah,
you're going to go through
massively.
some bits. At the end of, I'm just intrigued. At the end of the program in Minneapolis, is there some kind of presentation? Is there some kind of sign off? What happens?
Yeah. So there's a demo day, I think, where you kind of showcase to a lot of prominent people in the hospitality sector, but also investors, on how much you've done. And I think the end result is like raising your next round of investment so you can grow and expand more. We've always said that we wanted to expand to like Europe and America.
Europe's really interesting for what you're doing, I think.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of food and it's a mom and pop style restaurants. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully it will kind of like help us just grow all over the place and also just beyond restaurants into anywhere that serves food. Like the problem is everywhere from a small cafe to an airline to a hotel group.
Yeah.
We kind of want to be everywhere just so that we can help as many people as possible, make the dining
So the
experience
answer
better.
is, at the end of Minneapolis, we want the world.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
We'll get there.
Yeah, everyone has that. Right, look, thank you very much for coming in. I really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having
It's
us.
super exciting. I'm so happy you had that news. Would have been a very different conversation. I didn't ask any of my questions.
Yeah, no, we were like preparing for this.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. That was Eve and Alana. They're off to Minneapolis, to the US for 3 months, right?
Yeah, 3 months.
Wow. Oh, Christmas? No?
No,
We'll
we're
be back for
before.
Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, gutted. Quite cool. Christmas out there would have been cool. Anyway, have a great time. Good luck and stay in touch, and we shall see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.